Welcome, everyone, to episode 8 of the Chris Perish podcast, where we are affiliated with Turnbuckle Studios. I am here with my every week seems to be co-host now. He's a staple of this podcast. Could be one of the best signings of the Chris Perish podcast platform. It is the voice, Joshua Joseph, who is clearly packing his body, fueling it with that beautiful RogueEnergy.com product where he uses the promo code PERISH, P-E-R-I-S-H. If you haven't tried some, you might want to do some today because it saves you 10% and helps finance a little bit about this channel, which is good because it pays bills for Photoshop people. Need it. But Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. And yeah, like you said, I'm all jacked up on Rogue using promo codes Perish. And I'm also looking to talk to the creatives of Rogue of a freebase form because I need my energy and my flavors quicker. Chris Perish did not like that one, so we will move on.
No, I just, I get mine fast. Their international shipping is amazing. You're local
in my
United
body.
States.
My body. I want to.
I thought you were
get a smokable Rogue Energy.
Oh,
there we go. See, now we're on the same page.
I think there was words that you needed to add to that one.
Yes, probably. I'm not. You know what? I had a great Royal Rumble last night. I watched it with the only Chris Best and OMD, and it was fantastic. And I'm ready to be here on the Chris Perish podcast to talk all the fun things we talk.
Well, we might as well just go right into it. The Royal Rumble last night. If you're living under a Dwayne Johnson, then it is well known and documented that Bayley started the show off by winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, followed by Roman Reigns retaining his undisputed Universal WWE Heavyweight Championship, which was then followed by Logan Paul sneaking out a W on Kevin Owens and retaining the United States Championship. And then Cody Rhodes decided that last year was not enough, and he went back-to-back winning the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble, where in this whole night we saw 4 hours on 4 matches of amazing action, some ups, some downs, some stories, some intriguing storylines. But what were your biggest takeaways from the Royal Rumble PLE last night?
Okay, so one of my biggest takeaways was I became a semi-Pat McAfee fan last night. I thought it was really cool how he was the first surprise of the night. Normally, I'm not a big Pat McAfee fan, but he did prove to me last night that he knows how to carry a Royal Rumble and get a fan base excited. Another takeaway was the fact that we have WWE working very closely with TNA as of lately. That's fantastic. I mean, we finally, if you're a wrestling fan out there and you follow women's wrestling especially, we finally got Jordynne Grace in a WWE ring, and she looked fantastic, and all the talent worked well with her, and she really brought it. Another thing we brought,
Well,
this is gonna.
You know what's bringing it? We're bringing in Pluggo with his comments, saying what's good, friends. Pluggo, you can check him out. He had a great reactions last night on the Love Wrestling channel with the Canadian Goose, Honk Honk, local independent wrestler who I saw on Friday at their Love Wrestling show. How are you doing, Pluggo? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. We're talking some Royal Rumble. Give us your thoughts. Josh, sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no worry. It's Pluggo. Go ahead and cut me off for him. I understand. But yeah, I also, and this is gonna maybe turn some tables, and fan base of me might be shocked, but CM Punk can still go. Yep. And last night he proved that if you put him with the right talent, he actually looks decent in a match still.
I think it's safe to say CM Punk is clearly not where he was 10 years ago. He's not in the prime of his career.
Yep.
But what we are seeing, as we're getting the black card from Team IYH, appreciate that. But what we are seeing is we're seeing CM Punk, the special attraction, as a in-ring performer. Less is more. He's still capable of doing it. He just might not be able to do it every night, 200 nights of the year like he used to. But he still showed, as I'm agreeing, he walked his walk last night. He talked his talk going into the Rumble, but last night he definitely walked his walk. As Josh getting some shout out in the chat there, but we're giving our shout out to CM Punk. What surprised you the most about CM Punk last night?
Well, thank you, Team IYH, for shouting me out. I appreciate you guys. And CM Punk, my takeaway from him last night was he took what hindered him in the AEW world, and when he came here, I was his biggest critic. But he really showed me that he can step back and he can work with a team when he's provided everything. And honestly, you know what really struck me, what you just said? It's not the CM Punk of 10 years ago. But CM Punk and AEW, they thought he was the CM Punk of 10 years ago. Does that make any sense? They were.
Yeah, I think when he was in AEW, I don't think people knew what the CM Punk of the current time was.
Yeah.
And you can only go back to the CM Punk of what we now know was 10 years ago.
Exactly. So I think that's where I'm going with. I think that's what Tony Khan wanted out of CM Punk, and he just could not deliver that, no matter how hard he tried, because he tried. He really tried. But I think coming over to WWE, working with Triple H, working with the talent that's in there now and the creatives, I think he might get it. Last night showed me that CM Punk might actually understand that people want him in the business, but he has to learn that their time is always going to be your biggest opponent, and you have a team now who is going to mold you and make sure that time and your career stay running in the same race. You know, they're not separate. You're not trying to go back and see what's back here, what time was doing back on the 30-yard line. You're jumping up. You're running with time. So, and Triple H is a testament to that. I mean, look at his career. We didn't have the, oh my God, I wish he would get out of the ring. Oh, he's too old. No, he knew when it was time, and he did it. I really think they're working with him well. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think the thing too is it's a Royal Rumble match. So we didn't see CM Punk or we didn't hear from his live event matches with Dominic Mysterio that they were awful. We didn't hear that. But in the Royal Rumble match, you can be protected. You don't have to do as much as you would in a regular singles match. But nonetheless, when you go out there, you still have to perform. You still have to do the things that you do. He was asked to close the men's Royal Rumble match with Cody Rhodes, and he and Cody Rhodes had a very good final two, back and forth. Who's going to win? Who's going to go on to WrestleMania story? They both claimed their stake of why winning that Rumble meant a lot to them. And emotionally, you were invested as well as you were on Monday when they had their promo with each other. And it was, I thought, good. We talked a little off screen when we talked about how we looked at the Rumbles, and yet we saw in the men's, we saw more storyline. Opposed on the women's, we saw more moment. And I thought that was really good because that's in essence what the product is about. Storylines and moments coming together to create something larger than life. That's the WWE of today now.
You're 100% right on that. And when you said that in our off-screen chat, that really stuck with me because it made perfect sense. Like that wrapped up both the Rumbles for me. Men's story driven, because we had, when it came down to the last six, that was, you were ready, you were invested. I mean, it really, I don't know, the men's Rumble felt, I know it wasn't rushed, and I know it was exactly how it's supposed to be. I mean, there's time, there's, it runs that way, but it felt very fast up until the last six, as opposed to the women's. It kind of felt like, I guess it was because they were going for more of a moments, and it was like, oh, what's this moment? Oh, what's it? Who's that? Oh, she's back? No way! And then they pop us off at the very last one, number 30, and I don't know. It was very cool the way that they separated the feelings that they gave us from each Rumble.
Yeah,
I really liked the way you framed that. I thought it was very well framed for this particular Rumble.
well, thank you. I appreciate that. But no, it's one of those things where I had a feeling going in that there was going to be some people that weren't going to enjoy what they got because they wanted maybe a little bit more. They wanted maybe a certain person to come back. Maybe they wanted Sasha Banks. Maybe they wanted AJ Lee. Maybe they wanted Matt Cardona. Whatever the case may be.
Okay with that.
But like some people wanted that. That was what they're hoping for. And that's fine. You want what you want. And that's completely okay. But what we ended up getting was something I enjoyed because, we didn't get Brock Lesnar. But we got Braun Breaker, who had a great show. You said that he brought the energy, and he clearly used the promo code Perish at Rogue Energy on his checkout, because not only did he look like he was saving money, but he looked ready to go. And just like the Raw Patrol, he was on the prowl last night in the Royal Rumble. And he was almost, and it almost showed, it showed when he came out and then started moving, and he has that pounce. He has that extra pep in his step. He changed the perception of that pace, and he manipulated kind of where the Rumble was going for that time. He had a big elimination with Omos, and then he got dumped over by Dom, which got the people taking a step back and be like, whoa, which I thought was amazing. Dominic Mysterio got a very important elimination.
Yes, he did.
And he did it cleanly, and he did it on his own accord, which is not something he's known to do. He was just the right guy in the right spot, and he capitalized. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to take that and use it for Dom, and now they show him as a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
because
like it.
he's evolving.
Yeah, I
Right?
like it. I enjoyed the Dom entrant. I enjoyed his time in the ring. I thought he really had his moment in this Rumble, and I'm a Dirty Dom fan. I know you have a soft spot in your heart for Dom. He's coming together, isn't he?
He is.
Like he's really coming together, and I'm here for it. I enjoy it. I will say I had two pet peeves last night with the men's Rumble, and that's only because it took away from two spots.
Okay.
The Pat McAfee, obviously, because
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny, and it was that moment you kind of needed to break up the monotony of coming out, beat up, throw over, things like that. So that
Yeah.
was cool. But another one was almost. You're almost good. You're almost there. I'm so tired of seeing you out there if you're not going to put in the work.
See,
I was not impressed with him again.
For me, I think he is improving in ring. It's just we're not seeing him a lot. I don't think he's a special attraction. I say that just from my end as a viewer,
Mm-hmm.
as one viewer of the product. I don't look at Omos as a special attraction simply because I never viewed him to be a Brock Lesnar type superstar or a Undertaker type superstar to be worthy of that label special attraction for
Okay.
me. Is he getting better when he's out there? I think he is. I think he's more confident of who he is now than he was even a year ago. However, he hasn't put in the reps. And because he hasn't put in the reps, he's easily forgotten. Mm-hmm. We remember who he is, but we also don't remember who he is, if that makes sense.
No, it does.
And because of that, there's a disconnect lost of why do I care about him? There's that disconnect of, cool, you're here. I don't remember your music. I don't remember why you're so special, but you're being presented as a special attraction. Okay, interesting. And then you look over to the women's and you see Jade Cargill, who made her WWE in-ring debut. That was a better way and presentation of how to make a special attraction look and feel. And she is clearly not going to be just labeled as special attraction. There is more to that. But
dude, Jade was excellent. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It just got me excited.
We'll hear it. But in the last 365 days in the WWE banner, we've seen the same amount of on-screen appearances live on television. When it comes to the big PLEs, I'm sure. Oh no, I misspoke because Omos was at WrestleMania. So okay.
Okay, yeah, he was.
So Omos has more appearances, but the give a shit factor was easily won by Jade last night because in the last 365 days, despite on-screen, Jade has put in the reps, and we don't have that label special attraction, which almost takes away from the actual product that we see in Omos. And I think that to me is always okay. Now he has to punch higher than what maybe he's capable of, and it's not fair to him because now you're putting this potentially unforeseen label on him that he can't get to, and maybe he does. But it's very similar to Roman's our guy, and you clearly saw him at the Shield as being the weaker one of the Shield. Now, over time, yes, they were right with Roman, but it took you a lot of time to get there, whereas it wasn't as natural as what Jade is. Now, with that being said, Jade Cargill officially makes her in-ring return or debut for the WWE by coming in the Royal Rumble, and she looked fantastic.
She did.
Inside of the same match where we saw the return of Naomi, who is officially back in the World Wrestling Entertainment, And we saw the TNA Women's Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. We saw the return of Liv Morgan.
Yes.
We saw the debut of Jade Cargill. And what a debut that was.
Fantastic.
What an intriguing elimination that came to be. Liv Morgan, by technical, was the one who eliminates Jade Cargill. I don't think people saw that one coming.
Absolutely not.
But it was awesome.
It was.
In so many ways. What were your biggest takeaways about Jade Cargill in a WWE ring?
Okay, let's go down the list. And it's a short list, so don't worry. First, all the fans who said that once she left AEW that she can't wrestle and she can't go and she doesn't know what she's doing, she proved you wrong last night because she knew what she was doing. She held the crowd right here in Jade's hand and she said, "Watch what I do." And it was fantastic. Everybody she worked with, she lifted Nia Jax. Are you kidding me? And it wasn't a, "Oh, can I do it?" It was a, "Let me see what this is." Okay, that's how much. Okay. And then boom, she got it. I am so happy that everybody involved in the WWE in that Royal Rumble, in that moment, took Jade and ran with her. They all tested her out. They all let her have her moment, have that spot. And it was fantastic. When she dumped Nia out and then looks over at Becky Lynch going, "That's the man." The man was shocked that you did what you did. And now it's such a resurgence for a women's wrestling to see somebody like that, like Jade, come out, do her thing, hold her own. And then this is what I loved what you brought up with the her elimination by Liv. What they did there by that was they showed, yes, she's a force. She can take out the biggest female you have, the scariest one you have, but she can also be eliminated by the one you never even thought was going to come anywhere near Jade that night. So I am so happy that she's with us in WWE and Hunter's at the helm. Just like what you said about Omos. Omos. I'm sorry. Omos.
We'll get there.
We will get there because I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because he had Vince McMahon at the helm when he came in. Vince McMahon, let's just say it, when he sees a big guy, he starts salivating and he's like, "I know what I'm going to do with you. You're scary." And that's
he does, but then all of a sudden you look over at Mace and Dominic Dijak and you're just like, what went wrong?
Exactly. So I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to let Triple H take this character and see what he does with it. But yeah, the Jade being there, it's fantastic. And I'm so jacked Naomi's back, and I'm so happy that she's back in a WWE ring. I was extremely sad when she left, but I was so glad that she found a home over in TNA and she did her thing and she became that Impact. And now that she's back and her merchandise was up on site immediately. So this is exciting. This is a very exciting time for women's wrestling for the WWE. And if you're a fan of it, strap in and just get your popcorn popped and get ready to watch some awesome content.
And speaking of something that we saw for the first time, we saw also the very first time that Jordynne Grace donned a WWE ring. The TNA Knockouts champion enters the Royal Rumble. It was reported kind of midday yesterday that we were going to see this. It was something that I remember hearing a tweet from Raj Giri saying, expect the levels of the TNA WWE relationship to reach new heights with tonight's event. And boy, did we ever.
Yeah.
For the second time, the Impact, now TNA, Knockouts champion appears in full TNA Impact presentation. In
And welcome.
WWE. Yeah. But yeah, and presented exact same way as you would see from Hard to Kill. You saw the same Jordynne Grace in the Royal Rumble. And I thought she was fantastic. She blended in perfectly. She's that strawberry in a strawberry banana orange Julius. It just complemented what I was having, because what I was getting was a really good Royal Rumble, and Jordynne Grace added an element that I wasn't sure I needed until I got it. And because of that, it created matchups that were fresh, created things you didn't think you were going to see that day. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing Bianca Belair and Jordynne Grace have a power off.
Yeah.
I'm seeing potential dream matches, or just scenarios come in that were fantastic. What were your impressions of Jordynne Grace, and did she end up winning the best elimination of the night award for you?
Jade aside, Jordynne Grace gets my thank you for being you award, because she came in, just like you said, she came in, she had her big moment. She the crowd accepted her. She was loved. She came in with energy. Jordan's got such a great look about her as a professional wrestler. And yeah, she gets a lot of the awards from last night, because you could tell somebody was having fun in the ring. You could tell somebody was having the time of their life, and her presence lined up so many dream matchups. We spoke about them, a few of them, and we spoke about the possibility that this does bring. I mean, yes, this is the second time we've had TNA have, or Impact, whatever you want to call it. They came over and they were in a staple PLE of the biggest promotion, and Mickey and Jordan both held that moment very well, and it just proves that there's possibilities out there. If you stick to your dreams and you stick to your routine, that what got you to that dance, you're gonna make it to the ball. And Jordynne Grace, if this ever crosses you, your eyes ever see it, thank you and your husband for being the people you are in a ring, because I follow both of you, and I really connect with the way you guys look at wrestling, and it's an awesome thing. I'm sorry, man. I'm getting emotional because this fucking sport is so much more than what it is. And last night was so fucking cool to see all those people reach their levels, man. It was just cool. Sorry, fans.
Hell yeah. No, man. See, that's the beauty of wrestling, and that's why I love professional wrestling, because of the emotion that it brings out for the fan. You're emotionally invested.
Yeah.
And it's great, because that's the beautiful part of pro wrestling. It's why I say pro wrestling is romantic, and it's romantic because it makes you feel.
It does.
And it's truly special. And when we say moments, you don't know. Now, there might be people out there that don't care about Jordynne Grace being in there, but that hits you different. And that's just it. You can all like ice cream, you just can enjoy different ways. And that's the same with pro wrestling. But what we saw last night clearly exemplifies a TNA WWE, at least working relationship, or at least a working agreement.
That it does. Yeah. That's exciting.
What the details are, we don't know yet. We can speculate. But what we know we're going to get is something very fun to watch. Could we see a WWE superstar go over to TNA? Could we see more of what we saw last night? Who's to say? That's why you watch the show, because you just never know.
Yeah.
And that's the best. What was it? What's that lyric in Broken Dreams, Drew McIntyre's? Well, you never hear the shot that takes you down.
Yeah, that's true. I
So
mean,
just like a good moment in professional wrestling, the ones that truly get you are the ones you don't see coming. And yeah, Jade Cargill. Also, I want to say this about Jade Cargill. We talked about her and Nia Jax lifting Nia Jax. Nia Jax was absolutely on fire in that Royal Rumble. She even saved her own elimination to help make Jade look great by eliminating her.
Yeah.
I think people need to give Nia Jax her just due now and show her some respect because she is putting in that work you were talking about. And she is absolutely just hammering down on the execution part of the ring. That's something she was criticized about earlier in her career, and now she is hitting a home run. She went from someone that the fans thought struck out a lot to somebody that they now see at the home run derby. And speaking of home runs, we have Chris Best, the co-host of Turnbuckle Talk, that you can find on every Tuesday night at 8:05 p.m. Eastern, live from the affiliated Turnbuckle Studios. He's also one member of the Raw Patrol, where we watch Monday Night Raw. Do a watch along every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Everyone can check that out. That is also live on the Turnbuckle Studios platform. Give him a follow. He's going to be doing good old watch alongs as well for PLEs moving forward. We might be even working together on those. And what he's also doing is every Saturday on his own platform, go check out his platform because you have Saturday Night Gaming where he plays Uncharted and perhaps other games. Go check him out. But yeah, that I thought even right after it was finished, I said that could go down as one of the best female Royal Rumble matches so far. And I just don't mean lately. I mean, that might be bell to bell one of the best female Royal Rumbles ever.
Yeah.
And it's no shock to me because it flowed perfectly. Bell to bell, almost no hiccups. And I think one of the reasons why you had a ring general in that match. No, her name's not Gunther. Her name, put some respect on the name. It is the winner. Her name is Bailey. Came in very early. Talk about the stories inside this match. Yeah. She saved almost every member of her group in that match. She was not happy with how things ended for her members, but she also showed you a completely different side of Bailey, the performer.
Yeah.
And because of that, she ended up winning. She outlasted everyone. She used her brain. Every little thing that she was thinking, every idea she was concocting in a plan finally came all together. She used her smarts to get into situations. She used her smarts to get out of situations, just like the final three on the apron, which I thought was very creative. Instead of just doing a final two on the apron that we've seen in the past, they added a third person. Why worry about eliminating Jade and Liv when you can step back and let them fight each other and take each other out? Isn't it ironic that the person who is known to be a student of the game is working under a cerebral assassin called the game, also just showed you how to level up in the game with, I thought, a very, very good win of the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, I had her picked from day one. I really think 2024 is going to be a year of Bailey, and I really think she deserves it. She's Bailey's on levels that others are trying to get to. She goes from this bubbly human being wanting to hug everybody to a little more grit, to being a part of damage control, to what's next. And I think what's next is Bailey's going to end up going on her own. And it's going to be, there's going to be some type of, if they don't stay together, there's going to be some type of other group that forms from damage control, but their eyes are going to be focused on screwing Bailey over at every corner. And that's going to form a union between her and Charlotte when Charlotte comes back. And then that's going to form, I was surprised by this participant's role in the Rumble last night, Shotzi. Shotzi didn't have a bad Rumble last night. No. She was involved in quite a few spots. She lasted a little more than what I expected for her and where she's at in her storyline. But yeah, I really think that they're gonna form some type of unit with Bailey and going up against damage control, just because I have a feeling damage control is they're going to have a story to where Bailey's right there to win the title and damage control screws her over. And then that's the final straw. And then that goes into what I'm saying with how they're going to form up with Charlotte and all that when she comes back. Because Charlotte's not too far from coming back. She's already standing. She's already working, doing a lot of band stretches, things like that. She released a video of her workout. And when you bring up her name, I believe there's one name we left out of surprises of last night, and Andrade. He's back.
Well, I'm going to give you a performer of the night in that same women's rumble that we have not talked about, who I think also needs to be sent flowers. Her name is Chelsea Green.
Yeah, Chelsea did have a moment.
She was used in a way that took a lot of... Now, first off, right out of the gate, she gets thrown over. She doesn't go out. She's learned from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's smarter. She gets comedy spots with the use of Piper Niven, who, she's almost thrown out, but Piper Niven is just entering, catches that little hesitation of like, I can drop you, but I'm not. I love you. On the steps you go. Great. It really solidified them as a tag team, even though it was a match where everyone for themselves.
Yeah.
But then also she just took the brunt of a lot of things. Wrong place, wrong time. Just phenomenal. She's like trying down because she just got body slammed. All of a sudden now we see Jordan Grace body slam somebody on you, or we see somebody throw somebody on you. Oh, you're in the corner behind this person who I'm going to splash. They move and I hit you instead. Just really entertaining stuff. And it was a reoccurring theme, which was funny. And it almost like got you that stop it, he's already dead kind of feeling where you just wanted people to stop beating up on one of our favorite Canadians, Chelsea Green. But yeah, no, I thought she was fantastic. That's the thing. I thought a lot of people in that match understood their assignment and they executed. And I think that's why I think this year's Women's Royal Rumble is going to be a lot more memorable moving forward. We're going to remember the moments. We're going to take that with it. Fast forward to the men's. Yes, Andrade. He came back. He is now back signed to WWE.
And he's Andrade.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
I mean, he was Andrade in WWE.
But he was he's the Andrade that there's something different about him. I don't know what it is, but the before when he was in WWE,
He's confident.
He that must be it, because
He
he's such. I'm gonna miss him on Collision so much, but he is such an awesome force.
I think he has the same sense of I can breathe now, because it's like, okay, I know I shouldn't have left. I was frustrated for how I was being. I went over thinking it was going to be different, and I realized, hey, I actually love here more than I thought.
Yeah.
And then he goes back, and you just saw a sense of, I'm home. I'm free. I get to be me. These guys know me. Triple H knows who I am, and he's going to allow me to be me. Who I can breathe and I can walk with my vigor that I need to be Andrade.
Yeah.
Now, what I loved was just the subtle moments that he had. Okay, cool. Yes, seeing him, great. Now, was he going to get the pop of the night? No. But what he was going to get is make you intrigued in the Legado versus LWO storyline. Because who didn't want to see him and Santos right away?
Yeah. Yeah. That's 100%. Because where is he going to line up with somebody? Is he going to do his own thing? What's the story going to be around him? Because if either faction gets him, that's an improvement in your group. But if he stays alone and he goes about it himself, I kind of like that more, because I kind of like the idea of him, people wanting to come to him and team up with him, not him going somewhere to team up. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
It does. Also,
I just think it plays more for his character.
Yeah. Here's a little stat. Only 9 superstars from SmackDown were in the men's Royal Rumble. A lot of unbranded talent, or NXT brand. Sorry, we'll say it. A lot more than we normally have in the men's. Whether it's Omos, who's not assigned to a brand. We saw Braun Breaker, who's NXT. We saw Carmelo Hayes, who's technically still NXT, but has been featured on SmackDown as of late.
Yeah.
I strongly believe Andrade is going to be on SmackDown. I think we're going to see a lot of involvement in the Legado LWO type things. Where that stands yet, not too sure. I'm not going to lie. I want to see a Santos versus Andrade match at some point. However, I don't want to see face Andrade right now. But I do want to see an Andrade Zelina Vega reunion. I have time for that because, again, you're bringing the past back a little bit. You recognize the past. Okay, I get it. But there's going to be something different. Your past isn't going to replicate your future. It's just going to be a directional point of where your future's going, because you already know where you don't want to be anymore. And I think that's going to be a very intriguing aspect. What is this new installment of Andrade going to be like? Is he going to be different? If so, what's the difference? How's it going to be? Is he going to go back to the people he knows, or is he going to choose new colleagues to associate him? Are we going to see him walk by himself? Maybe he just does his own thing, like you said. It's very intriguing now. There's a lot of unanswered questions now about Andrade, but it's why I now need, again, to watch the show and see how Andrade is going to be used moving forward.
Yeah, because, he, like you said, him and Santos, they tied up. Him and Carlito tied up. So, and I know it's a Royal Rumble. You can do that. You can get a play in that. But a lot of the times I like to watch the Rumble. And I think fans do this too. You sit there and you think the what if. Oh, what's that mean? Is that a hidden message? Is that where they're going? So if I was going to make an award of it, the conspiracy of the night, I would give it to Andrade. And it's really up in the air. What's going to happen? Where's he going to go? What's his trajectory going to look like by coming back to the WWE. I've been following him on Collision. He is a staple. He was a staple there. He's made me, over the past year, made me a huge fan of his, and just his overall presentation. And Andrade, I can safely say, gets it as a performer, as a entertainer. He gets why he's popular. So that's all a benefit to him, and a testament to Triple H by understanding that he is a draw and saying, yes, come back, be home, come home. You need to be here. So I enjoy it, and I can't wait. And I hope we get some moments out of him that we get to talk about on here.
Well, and that's just it. Like, we knew what we were going to get with the Cody Rhodes, the CM Punks, the Drew McIntyres.
Mm-hmm.
But we also knew that we were going to get some surprises like Andrade. That was just an obvious. It's like Naomi. We knew those two were going to come eventually.
It's just where were they coming?
Yeah. Where do you now piece them? Because you've shown in the past, okay, you can fill out your shows just fine. But how do you add these two into the show to make it better? And that's where it's going to be intriguing, because yes, there are plenty of ways to add them, but which one benefits them the best? And that's going to be the intriguing part of watching the shows now. Like, does Naomi, does she go to SmackDown? Does Andrade go to SmackDown? Do one of them go to Raw? Does one of them go to NXT? Does Naomi maybe go to NXT and challenge for the NXT women's title right away? That's intriguing to me, because you never know.
Yeah, because they do have a show coming up too, don't they?
Vengeance.
So I don't know, man. I let's just say, like, I believe it was in the women's Royal Rumble, I believe entrant maybe 13 or 14. I was on Chris Best's stream, and I said best women's Rumble ever. And the reason I say this is because not only was it fantastic and the amount of surprises we got and the amount of work that was done in the ring, but the amount of what's next. That's what really psyched me up. And the men's had it too. I mean, like I said, when it came down to the last 6, the men's Royal Rumble kind of flipped on energy. And it was like, okay, now we know where are we going? Because there's so many options right now with those last 6 of storylines. Where's it going to go? And they're going to finish the Cody storyline.
And that's something I wanted to put out too. When Cody won, he directly looked at Roman Reigns. Yeah. And he basically said, I'm choosing you.
Yeah. Pointed right at him.
Yeah. And it was like, I don't think in the time where you had multiple world champions and you had to pick who you're going to go after, I don't think anybody has instantly picked after the Rumble. And I thought that was different. And I was like, okay, even if you weren't a big fan of that Rumble, as you've heard, maybe you enjoyed last year's better. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. Who's to say? Maybe you've died off on the Cody Rhodes story. Who knows? Whatever the case may be, what you did get was something different. And at least now you know exactly what you're going to get moving forward. You're going to get Cody Rhodes going after Roman Reigns. And that's going to be a big chapter on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Chapter.
Are we getting Bayley versus Rhea Ripley? We don't know yet. Could we get Bayley versus Io? And here's another thing. What does Seth Rollins do? Is it the obvious CM Punk? We don't know. Because we've seen multiple stories, like on Raw, Gunther
came face to face with
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Maybe we see Drew, like maybe we just see something different. But then here's also the caveat: we have Damian Priest lurking with that Money in the Bank briefcase. And there's no rule that he has to cash in at WrestleMania or by WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But you have to think, height of the century? Well, what's bigger than a heist of the century? I think committing the heist of the century, but stealing it from the guy who thought he was the smartest man in the room. That's what Damian Priest could be doing. He could be outshining Seth Rollins at WrestleMania.
There's so many things. Right?
Imagine if that's the like. Okay, think about this. You get CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the World Heavyweight Championship, and just when you thought it was CM Punk's time, and or maybe Seth Rollins does beat CM Punk, but then just when he thought he escaped the WrestleMania thing, boom, Damian Priest and cashes it. He ends the show as your new World Heavyweight Champion. Thus, now you're setting the new chapter of post WrestleMania. Because obviously, after that, you're now going into a draft. That's going to be the next big moment, right? And everything's going to shape up again. So
it's insane. It's insane because there's so many obvious what's next, but then when you start diving deeper into it like you did, I mean, I was once I seen Priest in there, I was kind of like, so he could win this. He could go to WrestleMania. He could challenge. He could get beat. And then once they're raising the hand, he could legitimately cash in and probably win just because of the shock factor. But he didn't win the Royal Rumble, but you know,
what do you I'm going to add to you, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay. What he could have done was won the Royal Rumble. Say he chose Seth Rollins. Say he beats Seth Rollins on night 1. And then night 2 cashes it on Roman.
I see where you're going. Yeah. Yeah. And then he would be senior.
What? Why get one scoop of vanilla when you can also get a scoop of chocolate too?
Hey, I like it. You know. Yeah, they and I believe Chris Best made a comment about it.
I was just getting there, and that's just it.
The beauty of this.
We talk about it, and then he mentions, I love how the Rebel presents us with possibilities for feuds. Last night's Rumbles had OMD and I discussing possible feuds that weren't too far off from the realm of reality. And that's exactly what I think the Royal Rumble is known for now. And that is there is an absolute there's just chaos going into the Royal Rumble, right? Everything is just moving at you from every direction. You just have to be able to calm the storm.
Yeah.
But after the Royal Rumble match, after the whole thing is said and done, it organizes a little bit of that chaos. And now you have a little bit more idea of what's in store for WrestleMania. And I think it did just that. We know it's going to be Cody versus Roman in some form. We know that Bayley is going to get a championship match for WrestleMania. We know that CM Punk, if he wants to main event WrestleMania, has to go on a different way. So, like, we have a little bit more understanding of what's going to be. We're not there yet. We don't know everything. There's still 3 months to go, or really 2 and a bit months to go. But, yeah.
Well, here's something that's you need to do some investigation on your turnbuckle team. OMD is a wizard, and he is from some other realm, some other time, because the dude called everything last night. He would say something, and within 5 minutes, it happened right on TV.
I've trained him well.
Yeah, well, there was times where he was just saying just joking around. Oh, this is blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it would happen. And Best would be like, what the fuck, dude? Do you have a cheat sheet over there? What's going on? Because he was even calling it like, oh, yeah, obviously they're going to be at this number. And then boom, we're like, what the fuck is going? Like, you got a wizard over there. And I don't know, man, some Eye of Newt I'm going to throw at him.
I can't begin to say how frustrated Chris Best probably gets watching wrestling at times when I'm watching Raw and I'm saying everything and it's like, oh my God, it's happening. And then you do a watch along and then OMB says and it's happening. He's like, guys, shut up, please.
Oh, you guys are wizards.
And then OMB was on point last night. Chris Best is saying, and and that's just it. Like that's the fun part too, is when you think you know and you're just like, okay, cool. It's another form of how we are invested on an emotional thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
To kind of be there. You're picking up what the product is putting down, and that's a great feeling as a fan, and you're not having your intelligence insulted like it used to be at one point. And it just felt that way for a while. And then now it's not. And it's fun to be a fan. It's fun to be a fan of WWE right now. That was a great show. Yeah. You might not have gotten everything but that you thought you wanted, but you got a lot of things that are very intriguing.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. Roman, and here's another thing too. LA Knight did not get pinned in this match. Randy Orton did not get pinned. Definitely look to see that. You could make the argument that Randy Orton was the big star outside of Roman, the big threat, really. In that, like, the obvious threat. But then LA Knight was also that secret. He was the bazooka in a gunfight.
Very true.
And AJ Styles just happened to, he had the knife in the gunfight, and you don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
You definitely don't. If you want to walk away from the fight.
If you guys remember GoldenEye, the video game for the Nintendo 64, it's why. Yeah, he was in the slap mode, and it's like, dude, we all have remote minds. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And just, and you're done.
But you made a point that I think is very valid and kind of goes into the performance we got out of the AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
And with the working with TNA and Impact, there could be a stint to where, because I mean, right now, what do we have? We have this new AJ Styles of, he just wants to hurt people. He wants to get vengeance on people, and he wants to hurt them. That's all he wants to do. He might win a championship doing it, but like this AJ Styles we got right now is like the closest you're going to get to AJ Styles imitating Stone Cold Steve Austin on TV without what and all that stuff. But his overall demeanor, and it's like, it's almost even when Triple H came back from his first leg injury, like there's a presence about him of, I want to get vengeance. I want to get back to the top. And what better way would be to go maybe take one of their belts and bring it over, like something cool like that. I mean, in my opinion, and this is not, everybody's flavor, but in my opinion, it would be cool for him to go over there, maybe take not the big title, but take a title, come back over to the WWE. So now you're integrating, you're working with them. I think it would be cool.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, also, like, what happens if this is just a way for AJ Styles to be inducted in the TNA Hall of Fame? That could be something that is
true.
But also, I noticed two things about AJ Styles that we see right now. And he's very much, his character that we see now really resembles a lot of that lone wolf angle and character that he played in TNA when he wasn't sure if he was re-signing, if he was going to join the Aces and Eights back at that time. And then it's funny, Aces and Eights, spoof off the Sons of Anarchy. We all know this.
Yeah.
Go back and look at AJ's gear. Gives you some Sons of Anarchy, Aces and Eights feel. It's all black. The logo is kind of done in that motorcycle club type thing. Very intriguing. And then now all of a sudden you have this working relationship with TNA.
Yeah, there's a lot being played here, and that's what I loved about Best's comment. The Royal Rumble, it's one of the best ones that give us so many ideas. I mean, this is like if you could make an event that was like perfect for the conspiracy theorist crowd, the Royal Rumble is that event, because it's so fantastic and magical, and just it takes me back to a time when I would be waiting for my parents to tell me it's time to turn off the TV and go to bed, and it brings me to that childlike moment. That's why I got so emotional earlier seeing Jordan and all them. You know, it's the Royal Rumble is one of the most special nights of the WWE, and I can't wait for Monday now. I cannot wait for Friday. I can't I'm so excited for wrestling right now, and thank the WWE for doing what they do, man. It's just fantastic.
God rest the soul of the Royal Rumble creator Pat Patterson. You knew what you were doing. Young man. And thank you. No, the Royal Rumble now has taken a completely different life of its own now. And it's one of, I think, everyone's, if not favorite, one of their favorite shows in wrestling. WrestleMania is still going to be the big show. The Royal Rumble might be the one that everyone just gets that little extra giddy about, and it's fun. It's okay to get giddy, people.
You heard it here on the Chris Parish podcast. It's okay to be giddy.
We ain't cowboys, but we say giddy up because it is fun to enjoy professional wrestling. And we allow that here. It's a little bit of all right in my books. And yeah, so that was it. I mean, we didn't really talk too much about the Logan Paul KO match, but I mean, it was what it was. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't really anything amazing. We saw, I think, Logan Paul kind of show that he is good.
Yeah. It showed that he's good, that he's here for all the right reasons, and he can put on a show.
I don't think he was being protected. I don't think he had his hand held last night. I thought he was doing it on his own. And I really enjoyed kind of what they did. I also love the fact that they didn't make KO take a loss. He looked insanely strong, but it looked like his anger got the best of him, which they've done in the past too. Yes, he likes to punch people, but sometimes that punch could get you in trouble. And the punch that he did ended up having some brass knuckles on that he stole from Logan, who tried to hit him with, and got caught being pinned. He had the knucks on his hand. That was hook in the leg that the referee saw. Disqualified him, as he should. Referee did what he had to do.
Yeah, very true.
And because of that, that's not over. Logan Paul didn't win, but he kept the title. It was just a dirty way of retaining it, and it was a different way of stealing the win.
No, I really liked it too, because it plays into what we could get from them again. And this kind of shows that there could be a street fight. There could be a no DQ match. There could be a cell. Who knows? But what we do know is that Kevin Owens is going to want to get his hands on Logan Paul again. And it's going to be under Kevin Owens' terms. And Owens' fight doesn't sound like it's going to be a tickle fest. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm glad to wait.
Brother.
Tickle me. You better watch out.
Speaking of brothers, we got the Bulkster right in here saying, yep, punching can get you in trouble. You can just ask CM Punk.
Oh, the Bulkster, what a great guy. But yes, this sets up the way they ended this made me excited for what's next with them. I was okay with the match at the beginning. Like I was indifferent, but from that first slap Owens gave Logan and just opened up that chest and left that big, massive handprint on it, then I was invested. And then once they KO gets screwed over, I'm now even more invested. I'm like, wait a minute, like that can't be that way. Like it's cool because now Logan, he can play off the fact that he's got a win, or he didn't lose a match against Kevin Owens, you know. So now there's more room to play. Again, wasn't a Royal Rumble match, but it was at the PLE. So this PLE is magical. This is one of the best ones out there. I'm really looking forward to the continuation of this, because there's so many things you could do with this this whole idea with Logan Paul and KO, that it's going to be fun and entertaining no matter what they do.
Yeah. Chris Best says I do think they have a rematch at Elimination Chamber. Very well could. I have a feeling, because we did see Grayson Waller and Austin Theory get involved in this as well, kind of show. So I can see that, okay, Logan Paul has his buddies. And ride this train with me for a second. Yeah, now Kevin Owens needs his buddies. Okay, but who are going to be his buddies? Who is he going to pick to fight with him? Well, there's a guy that returned last night at the Men's Rumble at number 30. We know that he has some past with. His name is Sami Zayn.
Oh.
And just
it was so great to hear that.
And if you really wanted to give a hand gesture of sort to Logan Paul, perhaps finding a 6-man, he might decide not to open up a can of Prime, but might get an old foe to open up a can of Whoop-Ass. Think about the 6-man tag of Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, and Logan Paul versus KO, Sami Zayn, and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania.
Well, we both know there's been talks, and you know what? You might have just cracked the cheat code there and figured it all out, because if they do that,
you said doo-doo.
I did do that.
We're not mature here, people.
No, we are not at all. But yeah, if that's the route that they go, that right there is your money-making match. That right there is going to be why people who have left wrestling and watching it would bring them back to watch for that night. Austin is, and for his age, he's in some really great shape. He's done a lot of work on himself. I don't think it's if this does happen, this whole idea where Austin does a match, I don't think it's going to be one of those times where it's just him coming out, stunning everybody, and then being over. I think you're going to get a little ring work out of him. And it's going to be to his comfort level, of course. We don't want him hurt. But I think it'd be that match of the night that a lot of people walk away saying, "Did you guys see that Austin match?"
Well, here's the thing. And what's the one thing, and I'll get to Boxer, I'll get to your comment just right after. But WrestleMania is about those moments that you remember forever.
Yeah.
Maybe go viral. Logan Paul knows about moments that go viral. It's his past, right? As a YouTuber. What could be a most viral moment than Stone Cold Steve Austin giving Logan Paul a stunner? Or maybe giving KSI a stunner who's dressed up as a giant Prime bottle.
Yeah.
Or
dumping beer on him.
What would be a better endorsement for Prime than Stone Cold Steve Austin stunning a giant bottle of Prime at WrestleMania?
You're 100% right on that, though. I see the humor in it, but I also see the money that can be made.
Stun your thirst with Prime energy. Come on.
You're already making it.
Oh, man, I'm cold.
Yeah.
Hire me, Logan. I could use that. I can use that money. Boxer coming in saying, why did the TNA champ look so impressive last night? But I watched tons of clips as she looks mid at best. WWE magic. Everything looks better in a WWE lens. I mean, budget. I mean, yeah, they can get the good stuff. Just like
Yeah.
you're saying Austin looks younger. I now need to have some of that broken skull lager. And there has to be something in that beer.
Well, I mean, it probably helps that he's looked like a thumb with a goatee for years. So that kind of really takes away his age. I mean,
Hey, if a ringmaster isn't the good look, you look like a thumb.
yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
it's worked for him for many, many, many years. Yeah, it's the idea that like the Bulks are saying with why did she look so good? Look, Jordan Grace has been she's been the top of the mountain for a while in smaller promotions, and she's put in the work. I mean, she does a lot. So the fact that when she's in a WWE ring with the calibers of women who are doing exactly how she's doing it and putting in that work and doing it, all you can expect is good results from seeing that. And yeah, that's the magic of WWE. When you have the top guys, when you got the top guys, you got the top guys. And it's fascinating to see. I mean, the WWE is like the Patriots with Belichick and Brady. I mean, that you can add so many things, so many players, so many pieces that are distractions on the outside and make them come into work and win championships. I hate to say it. I don't want to say that, but they are. It's reality.
I just now want to see a cosplay of Heyman and Roman do Belichick and Brady now, because you now put that in my head, and it's like kind of funny.
Well, we got WrestleMania coming up, and we know they love to play around with the video packages.
They did that for LA and Hollywood, though. But yes, I'm not gonna go. Yeah, that'd be intriguing. They're in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, and what we also saw yesterday was brothers start the Royal Rumble. Jimmy versus Jay. Before we kind of like tail off into other subjects, what were your thoughts on Jimmy versus Jay?
I like it. I want to see more of it. These two.
What side are you on? Yeet or no yeet?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? I'm a yeet boy. Because he's got no yeet. No yeet seems secondary. Like you can't have the no yeet without the yeet. So why would I team up with number 2 who came up with the no yeet? I'm gonna stick with yeet. I'm gonna be a yeet boy. But yeah, I honestly I think this is fantastic for the WWE. I think this is fantastic for these two. Again, like I talked about earlier with dreams coming true. They have a dream of main eventing a WrestleMania against each other. They want that. They've had that since they were young, and they were running around in living rooms and throwing each other around. That's what they want. And the WWE universe needs to give it to them at some point, because without Jimmy and Jay, you don't have a bloodline. Without Jimmy and Jay, you don't have the younger culture in the WWE who gets behind them. I mean, look at all the young kids, and I'm talking like kids that still have to ask permission to stay up past 8:30.
You're saying there was a generational gap in WWE? Get out of town.
I am telling you here first here on the Chris
This is
podcast.
Brand new information.
Breaking news. Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic to see. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it.
But yeah, no, it was intriguing because that was the first time we saw that, like, really in a one-on-one form. The Bucks are coming in saying, I know wrestling fans don't like picking sides, but I love the patriarchy of WWE on top with them collaboration with TNA does that, maybe gives them the rule of being number 2 promotion. I'm going to say this. I think when it comes to pro wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to And WWE is the mecca, and it always will be. TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, anybody else, MLW, they're not competition to WWE, but they're alternatives to a product similar to WWE. You don't go to Baskin Robbins and hate Rocky Road because it ain't vanilla. You're just like, if I like it, I'll eat it. But I won't, because I want this sherbet over here. Yeah. What a freaking play. Yeah, I picked, of all the ice cream flavors, I picked sherbet, people.
I like me some sherbet.
Yeah, it's just a funny thing to say. But that's it. Like, it's just like whatever the number one, number two is, whatever. Some people like you can think of whatever. If you like it and that's your number one, good for you. If it makes you happy, then who is anybody else to say anything? Right? Hashtag sherbet.
I do enjoy a good sherbet punch. I like sherbet punch. I think it's delicious. I would drink it every day.
I'm gonna clip the sherbet part of this, aren't I? That's gonna be the Chris Perish podcast is presented by sherbet. If you're a chocolate or vanilla guy, get your weak sauce at it. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. I gotta stop just going with everything at times.
Yes. Yeah, we got to get to some football talk, man.
Yeah, we do. Brought to you by Rainbow Sherbet. Yeah.
Rainbow Sherbet's good.
Speaking of liking something different, yeah. NFL football. That's something different from professional wrestling. What a segue. I'm a master of this. Don't at me, people. Dress best? Damn right. But sponsor Perish.
Hey, I'll take some sherbet money.
No, I just want to do the Paul Heyman shirt. Be like, I'm a sherbet guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sherbet guys over here.
Sherbet World Order. Come on.
Oh, good Lord.
I got 2 words for you. Sherbet. What?
What?
Yeah. I got 99 problems, but the sherbet ain't one. Ha.
It's not. It's delicious. It's good for you. People enjoy it.
Are you sherbet?
See, fans, this is what you've done. You've sent him off of these rails. We got football to talk about, and we're still stuck on sherbet.
Hey, I'd be lying if I said I'm a Ravens guy, but that could be your Super Bowl matchup in 2 weeks as the Detroit Lions set to face off the San Francisco 49ers for the NFC Championship, while we have the Baltimore Ravens set to face the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC Championship. Were you impressed that I just was able to go right back into it?
I was a little shocked, actually. A little shell-shocked over here.
Football is the best. Stanley Cup Championship coming up. And yeah, my Oilers are streaking, baby, and we're bringing our green hat. Woo! But yeah, let's get into the AFC NFC Championship games. Are you still on the conspiracy that we're going to see 49ers Ravens?
The conspiracy?
The logo.
Conspiracy. Well, yeah, the logo. Oh, yeah, I
forgot.
forgot about the logo conspiracy. No, I am. I really am. Not because of the conspiracy, but because of the amount of work that both teams have put in throughout the season. And I just really think Lamar is ready to he's ready to cement himself as a more than just a quarterback with an arm. He's trying to show that he's actually a leader. He's a guy you want to be in your locker room, getting everybody ready to go out there and bring home the win. It's phenomenal to see a player of his caliber still have the determination that he does, even after collecting the checks he collects. I really think the 49ers just they understand the assignment. I'm not saying that the Detroit Lions haven't had an incredible knockout year for them, because they have. But at the end of the day, sometimes that tank runs empty. Sometimes someone comes in with a bigger tank than you. There's so many variables out there, and the Lions have the best chance to make me a fool. I believe in this one. Kansas City, it is so trivial of why I don't want you in the Super Bowl that I don't even want to talk about it, honestly. But I don't want to see a Super Bowl full of what's Taylor Swift doing in a fucking box. And you know exactly what it's going to turn into. That's what it's going to be.
I am going to say this, though. If by chance the Kansas City Chiefs play the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl, Usher, take a back seat. I want to see Eminem and Taylor Swift in the halftime show for one or two things, because, well, if I'm being serious, I think them doing Dido with Taylor Swift as that female part would be intriguing. But two, I kind of also just want to see a complete roast of Eminem on Taylor Swift, if I'm being quite honest. And I think that would be entertaining on so many levels. But in all seriousness,
you're just there for the clicks.
I just think it would be funny.
It's okay if you are, man. It's just fucking hilarious.
Here's the thing. Is anybody going to watch the halftime show? I'm not. I'm going to refill my beer. I'm going to check my phone. I'm going to hang out with my friends. I'm not going to watch Usher. I'm sorry. Never was an Usher guy. Never will be an Usher guy. He's not terrible. But it's not my jam, all right? I'm not.
I get it.
Berkshire, what does TS mean on the center of the stream? Truffle shuffle? No, but we do like the truffle shuffle. The TS, if you really enlarge your screen, in the white, it says Turnbuckle Studios. That is who the Chris Perish podcast is affiliated by. And you can check out Turnbuckle Studios on all platforms. Like tomorrow, where the Raw Watch Along is a thing. Then on Tuesday, you got Turnbuckle Talk with Carl Carafel and Chris Best. Carl Carafel still on the Chris Jericho cruise. So we'll see OMD and Chris Best on this Tuesday. That is at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. And then you can also see Bubba Duke with OMD playing some games on Thursday with on Bubba Duke's channel. That is all the stuff you can see through there. And then also Chris Best's gaming channel, Saturday Night Gaming, which you can see on his channel as well as Turnbuckle Studios. So it's a partnership that we have.
And I believe the Boar's Nest is playing Gears of War, Terry.
Yep. And this is the thing. WWE saw what the Chris Perish podcast, Turnbuckle Studios were doing, and they're like, you know what? We got to do something similar. We got to work together. But that's a whole different thing. I wanted to see the M&Ms and the Swifties together. It'd be interesting. You can call it the trail mix. I don't know. But with that being said, it's the Super Bowl I'd like to see, because I am going for Detroit. They just took out two teams I hate, and they have a former Saints player as a coach. I want to see Teddy Bridgewater get his ring. I want to see some kneecaps being broken. And there's something about the defending champion in professional sports being the team that crowns the new champion. In wrestling, we always said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. You don't see it very often that the team who won last year's title is a team that the next champion has to beat to become champion. And I always like that story. Very seldomly does it happen, especially in organized team sports. So, yeah. And it'd be a bigger cap in the hat of Detroit if they took out Patrick Mahomes to win their first Super Bowl. And they'd probably be everybody's favorite team, because everyone would be cheering for Detroit in that scenario.
Not me. I'll bite my face off and I'll become a Swiftie for a night. And yeah, I'll never cheer for Detroit. I spit on Detroit. I don't like you. I don't like you, Detroit. Why don't you stay where you're at? You're gross. You smell. I've been there. You're nothing impressive. I've never been impressed with anything I've seen in Detroit.
So you want to hit the Detroit Lions with the go to sleep and then sing the song, Lions sleep tonight.
Yeah.
I
want them out. I don't want them existing in the NFL.
One can say you barely can stand them.
You're damn straight. You're damn straight.
But no, it's going to be an interesting one because I don't know if how Debo is going to be. That's the wild card to me in this game. If Debo is 100%, this is going to be interesting of an offense because when he goes off, he goes off. Christian McCaffrey, same thing. I think Christian McCaffrey can be contained better than Debo right now. The one thing about Detroit that I'm just not sure that they're going to be able to do is contain all the firepower on San Fran this whole game. I am intrigued to see if the Detroit Lions can frustrate the firepower, if they can get to Brock Purdy. And if they can hit Brock Purdy, does that affect how he moves the ball? And if that's how Detroit plays, that's, I think, what gives them their true shot. The defense have to force turnovers for the Detroit Lions to win this game, in my eyes.
No, you're 100% on that. I really think this first half of this particular game with the Niners and Lions, it's going to be a kind of more of a slow going first half. They're going to figure each other out. And then that second half, right after halftime, both teams are going to adjust and come back out and try to go at it more aggressively. I just think both teams right now have a lot on the line, obviously, because whoever wins this gets to go into Super Bowl. But also whoever wins this makes a statement for their league, for their team, to the other teams in the league. And the Detroit Lions are hungry for that. They've been hungry for that for a long time. And they have the year to actually cement that. And what I mean by that is with this win, if they get this win, they take all the awards for the year. They have to. I mean, it's a completely different league, or not league, but team, and it's a completely different lifeblood running through them right now, and they like it. The team is behind it. Every single player is giving every single thing they possibly can on every snap, and it shows. I mean, look where they're at. Look, they made me eat my words 3 games ago. So, it's incredible to see Campbell take this team and do what he's done. And why not? I don't want to see him do it, but I would say congratulations if they did do it. I mean, congratulations to them regardless because of the year that they've had. And I really want to see Lamar get his due and at least take his team to the Super Bowl. And whoever he faces will be fantastic. I understand the to be the man, you got to beat the man. Totally get that. But I lost interest in that philosophy when Seattle was going up for their second one, and you didn't give the ball to fucking Marshawn Lynch. You're on the goddamn 1-yard line. You get the ball to Marshawn Lynch. It is beast mode. That's what he does. And that's why he laughed in your face, Pete. At the end of all that, he laughed in your face, Pete. Sorry. I love Marshawn Lynch. I think he's a great guy, and he deserved that, and he would have got number 2. He would have got in a row. It would have been fantastic.
I would not have known you were a Marshawn Lynch fan not at all with that. That just flew over the top of my head on that. Could not have seen. But
did you see the comments?
yes, I'm not going to read it. Sorry, Bulkster. It's funny, but I'm not going to read it. But it's one of those things where I think, and it's interesting because Baltimore gets Mark Andrews back for this game, for tonight's game. So now they have that 1-2 punch with Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, who could be the best 1-2 tight end punch in the NFL. That's just another weapon for Lamar, who he's very comfortable with. So it's interesting. And then here's the thing that I find that could be very intriguing in that one is Kansas City has proven they can go tit for tat with anyone.
Yeah.
They did it with Buffalo last week, and they won that battle. So to me, this all comes down to, does Baltimore's D frustrate Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs? Because I look at this as a game that if both Detroit and Baltimore want to win, their defense have to step up, and they have to be the defining point in these games. Just because both San Fran and Kansas City have shown on occasion, when you want to look at me and duel, we're a better shot.
Yeah.
And they've proven it. Right? So the weapons with San Fran are something not to be messed with, but Patrick Mahomes is also someone you don't want to mess with. Not in the playoffs. He's a different beast.
Yeah.
So you have to be different. You have to attack in a different way. For Detroit, yeah, you got to play physical and you got to force the football. I think with Baltimore, you just have to prevent. You have to prevent momentum changes. You have to prevent points getting scored. You have to prevent a rhythm for Patrick Mahomes. And if you can prevent a rhythm, then you had your shot of going there. Bulkster's ultimate goal is to make Parrish crack like Archer does others. Well played. Maybe next time. Hey, I take my rogue energy and I use the promo code Parrish. So I am very alert.
He's on the ball. Trust me, I work with him every Sunday. He's on the ball. I got a question for you real quick. Who do you think has the bigger uphill battle to get into the Super Bowl? What team?
Detroit.
Okay. That's where I was going to go too.
I think Detroit, because I think if you're to rank these four teams 1 to 4, I think you do put Detroit 4.
I agree. I mean, it's just everybody seems like the last 4 teams all had great seasons. So I mean,
the thing with San Fran is they were expected to get there from day one, and they're still there. Baltimore was expected to be there, and they're there. Kansas City's always expected to be there. They're there. No one expected Detroit to be here. They were the Cinderella team.
Their fan base did day one, because that's why I started this season off with a rant.
Yeah, their fan base also thought they weren't going to go 0-16, and they did. But that fan base has taken so much.
See that, fans? He just jabbed it in and twisted the knife and then pulled it out.
To be honest, if you were a team and they were owned and whatever, you're not thinking they're going to be that team. But I'm also saying they have endured a lot and they can take a lot and keep moving. And isn't that not Rocky? It's not about what you do. It's what you can take and keep moving forward. It's what life can throw at you and you keep moving forward. That's what winners do. So
I agree.
That's what the Detroit Lions are right now, are the ones that just move forward. But heard they have great tap water. They sure do. That's what I'm drinking right now. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
No, you're not drinking what he's talking about.
Tap water, man. Let's talk
Look
about
up
tap
Flint,
water.
Michigan.
Dude, why drink? Okay, so I'm going to just say this. It's like beer. I'm not going to touch American when Canadians are doing it better. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh. Just here, quick side note, because this is so funny. Flint, Michigan had
I
ICP,
know. I'm just.
ICP, the band, the Insane Clown
I know.
Posse, show up to their town.
But here we
with
have ICP.
Fago.
We have Immaculate Chris Parrish.
A bunch of clowns showed up with Fago.
Okay, we're talking football. Keep on track, man.
I'm sorry. It's just so funny. It's so funny.
If you wanted a clown so much, then you should have wished for Doink at the Rumble. But he ain't it. We're talking NFC and AFC championship games here, Josh. Get back on track. Focus.
Very true. Very true.
Focus.
I'm back. Oh.
We went from making fun of the Lions and enduring an Iraqi comment to talking about the Insane Clown Posse. Where did this go wrong?
You allowed the Boxster in the chat. That's where it went wrong. But yes,
Can't just strike everyone away. I do want views.
Yes, I get it. But yeah, exactly what you said with the ranking of if you're gonna rank these four teams, Detroit, I'm sorry, you are number 4, but that doesn't mean that you don't have a chance to win and prove something, because you've done it year after year after year, or not year after year, game after game after game this season. And honestly, you've made believers out of your own fan base. So it's a testament to where you're at, and it really speaks volumes to the organization that is pushing your team and giving you guys the tools to succeed. But I honestly think this is going to be a 49ers Baltimore Super Bowl.
Yeah. And that's what's interesting about this is we kept thinking, oh, this could be the year Josh Allen gets over the hump. Nope.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills are the same team that they always were. Okay. All right. Patrick Mahomes just shows you that this isn't the year he's going to crack. He just keeps being Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, you're getting what you're expecting all throughout. However, we also didn't think the Green Bay Packers were going to be close to defeating the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, I'm aware they did not. But with a lot less firepower, a lot less, I'm going to say prime talent than Detroit, they were a minute away. So they showed that there are holes in the San Francisco 49ers. And they may have shown you how to beat them. So you take that with a Dan Campbell offense. You take that with Sam Laporta. You take that with Jared Goff, who needs to be mistake-free. No fumbles, no interceptions, no sacks that turn a 1-10 to a 2-20.
That's a big ask.
Mm-hmm. But that's what he has to do.
Yeah.
Minimize those mistakes. Don't shoot yourself in the foot before you have a chance to pull out your gun.
Yeah. And fans, if you've been watching us talk about the last few weeks of football, Chris Parrish is pretty on the ball with a lot of what he says. So I just listen to what he's saying and go out there. I'm not saying go
got a ball, man.
He's got a ball. That's all you need, really. He's got a ball and a TV provider that allows him to watch these games. But yeah, I mean, I'm being honest. Parrish does pick a lot. He picks a lot of the what's happening. Like he will discuss like what he's discussing now with golf needing to be mistake free. The idea of what he's saying is very true, because if you have Jared Goff playing mistake free, the team itself thrives off of that. and then everybody starts picking up, and then you notice that the drop catches go down. You notice that the yards after completion are
Yeah.
bigger and greater and more beneficial to the team, and the runs that it's actually gaining yards. So if Jared Goff does play mistake free, that right there is the biggest thing that's going to take the wind out of the Niners sails. But here's the thing with the 49ers. They're a team that knows how to adapt in a lot of situations. And even when they did lose, their losses weren't that grand. Like, it wasn't like blowouts. It wasn't things like that. It's more of a young quarterback not understanding the moment. And that's where this is the toss up between these two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
Vulture is saying Parrish is wearing Lions colors inside tip right here. But if I turn around, dude, I have a Lions jersey right there. So
yeah, this is.
Yeah,
did you just find us, Bulkster, Terry? Did you just stumble upon us? You should be more of a dedicated fan, homie.
Dude, I've been sitting on this the entire time because I've been on the ball all show. All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, let's clear it up. He's a huge Saints fan.
Yeah, that's why there's black. Yeah.
He's a giant Saints fan. That's his number one team. But throughout the elimination of teams and some teams not making it, it seems like Parrish might be riding with the Lions.
Oh, dude, I totally am.
Yeah,
I'm at the petting zoo, and I'm at the petting zoo. I came to see the Lions, and I want to see them devour ravens. I saw Tatanka, and I'm like, I don't want to see you or your chief, so get out of here. And then I'm all about the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 because I don't like a 4 or a 9.
I like it, man.
Yeah, no, this microphone is just for show. It's not even connected to anything. So
yeah, it's pure show.
It's for presentation.
Yeah. Mine I
even talking to like it does. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm exposing myself, and I'm doing it professionally.
Yeah. Man, that was like the biggest thing that I didn't think people knew, and you just showed it.
Yeah, whatever. See, still hear me just fine, right?
Yeah, perfectly.
But this looks more professional, so
it really does.
I mean, it still works. I just don't have an actual cable that works with it, so I gotta find that. At the I'm still talking to the mic. I'm selling it. I'm committed to this assignment, brother.
I like it, dude. Kayfabe the life.
Yeah. I'm the guy who has legitimately the balls to show you that I can expose my secret and still go with the trick, and you're gonna go, wow.
Yeah, this is legit wired up to my microphone. See, so mine does work. His works too. It's just not plugged in. It's all an illusion.
Yeah, it works. It's just not working right now. I mean. What we said before, the theme song to Broken Dreams is you never hear the shot that takes you down.
This is very true.
So,
all full circles. You see the professionalism, fans?
Yeah.
You don't get that anywhere else.
I see people, this is just how good I am. I have a notepad, but it's blank. I don't write anything down.
Yeah. I would have to show you, like, turn my camera and do all these things to show you what's all around me and what's going on. But let's just say there's a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay, but we talked about what Detroit has to do to win.
Mm-hmm.
I can almost say that they got to do the same thing against the 49ers, against Kansas City or Baltimore. I'm going to say this. I think the Detroit Lions can beat the Baltimore Ravens in the Super Bowl. I'm not too sure if they can beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I think Baltimore can beat San Fran in a Super Bowl. I do. I think they have a better defense than San Fran, and I think that defense can beat them. I just don't think Kansas City can beat them. Right? Like, it's fun. To me, this is the one time where you got to get that right matchup.
Mm-hmm. Very
and
true.
it's intriguing to me when I see somebody like Detroit, because they are not they're the unorthodox team.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have the best quarterback. Jared Goff is not a top 5 quarterback in the league.
No.
Pat Mahomes is. Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson are up as candidates for the MVP. So, yeah.
Obviously, they're top 5.
Yeah, there's 4 quarterbacks and Christian McCaffrey. So, yeah, as of right now, they stand 2 of the top 4 if you go by MVP voting. And then, yeah, Christian McCaffrey. So, quite potentially the most dangerous running back right now in football. And it's very intriguing okay, Detroit, you have good firepower, but you don't have the most fire of powers, right? Like, your flame isn't the largest, but it's noticeable, and it does damage. It just doesn't do the most damage. Whereas San Fran does, Baltimore does, Kansas City does. So how do you give second-degree burns better than those teams with your firepower? You have to find a different way. And they have. And when you're talking about adapting, maybe Detroit is being undervalued on the way they're adapting, because they just find ways to still get there. They're finding ways to win.
Yeah.
Despite what everybody else throws at them, they're finding a way to do that duck, dive, dodge. And, they win.
No, you are 100% on that. Honestly, if it comes down to the Lions and Kansas City in the Super Bowl, I think the Lions could take Kansas City. The reason I say that is because to me, when you want to stop Mahomes, you have to do 2 things. The 2 things you have to do are you have to have a great outside edge rush, but you also have to have your linebackers or your secondary come in and pick up those tight ends when they're dropping out, and they have to cover them like honey and bees, man. You got to be there. You got to be making that pollen. You got to be putting hands on them. You got to be, making it very evident that you do not want him to get that ball. But if you put that pressure on Mahomes, we've seen a few games in the past couple seasons that Mahomes has gotten a lot of pressure throughout the game on him, and he melts. He has a shitty game. His throws aren't crisp. His handoffs aren't on target. So if you can disrupt him by coming in there and stopping a few throws that he tries to get. I mean, Travis Kelce, let's just be honest. He can play. The dude can play. He can catch in a lot of traffic. He can also hold on to that ball when he's getting hit. So if you disrupt him, you disrupt Mahomes. You take out Mahomes' energy a little bit. And Detroit is the team that would capitalize on that. They would smell the blood. Campbell would be over there saying, hey, boys, faster, faster, faster. And they would do it. And they would get it done. And I honestly, I don't see the Niners having that edge over Kansas City if they go in. But I believe the most fun game would be a Baltimore versus either one of these teams. Because Kansas City, let's just be honest, they're a legit threat.
Yeah, all of them are. The thing with Kansas City is they've shown that they don't need a star receiver. They didn't need a Tyreek Hill. In fact, they showed, okay, we'll move Tyreek Hill and then we'll win a Super Bowl first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now they're like, okay, well, we don't have really. We have the 1 and 2 punch, right? They have Brady and they have Gronk. They're just playing fill in with everything else. Why? Because they have their Belichick. That's why they're dangerous. Because when push comes to shove, they just make sure that their shot is always a knockout.
Mm-hmm.
And if it hits, it's the end of the line. Bucks are coming in with a joke, and I'm also not going to read that. So
funny joke, but
good joke. But yeah, but yes, yeah. It's also, I have a feeling we watch the same videos, folks or not.
Yeah,
yeah,
you guys are
but
on similar levels. I know him on a personal level too. So
yeah, no, I mean, our elevator of friendship is different. We meet at different levels, like
this is
you and
true.
him. But
This is true.
But yeah, no, and that's the scary thing with Mahomes. No matter what, he knows he can have his best game 4 times a year. It just happens to be those 4 games are playoff games. And then he gets a ring. Whereas, and the thing is, this is, if you go back to Baltimore, we're talking about Lamar needing to prove it, right? He wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to win one now. He believes that he has to win one now. He's motivated. He has to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens if he fails? Does he evolve as a player? Is next year's Lamar scary or is it unsure? And that'd be interesting. But if he wins, okay, how much more dangerous is Lamar? Or does he go too far into the Hall of Fame and then regress? Does he handle winning right? That's, to me, that's like a very intriguing part too, because we don't know what Lamar Jackson is, Super Bowl champion. We don't know what comes with that.
I mean, that's the last piece of the puzzle we need to find out about him.
And does that team with, and here's the thing too, they're running with Zay Flowers, a rookie wide receiver, and more or less, I don't think it's his first year, but Isaiah Likely is not. He is not your number 1 veteran on the tight end. He might even be taking a back seat now with Mark Andrews coming back. And that's another thing. Is Mark Andrews even going to be, is he going to have his best game? First game back, not always your best game, right?
Yeah.
And then you're coming back with, potentially a game now, 2 weeks, and then another game, and you got to be spot on 2 out of 3 weeks. You might not be getting the reps that you need to get back into prime mode. So that could be if guys like Zay Flowers and their tight ends ball out, okay, they got a shot. If Lamar Jackson runs for 100 yards, but they have a shot.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling the Baltimore Ravens, I think their season relies on the arm of Lamar Jackson. Not the legs, not the time management, but how well he moves the ball.
Yeah. I really think that a lot of teams have a tendency to overcompensate for his ability to run, and that seems to be what they focus on, and they lose sight of what that arm can do, and that arm is dangerous. It's not just those legs that are dangerous on Lamar Jackson. You got these 2 games definitely show that the hard work throughout the year, throughout the season, pays off, because all 4 teams have put in the work this year. And this is definitely one in a long time that I'm looking at both games to get into the Super Bowl. And I really don't know. I absolutely don't know, because either team in this, all 4 teams have a chance. They all have a chance.
And it's going to be very intriguing. Now, and here's the thing. If the Lions do win, say the Lions do win, and you get some blue in that Super Bowl, do people shut up about the logo stuff now?
No.
Because it's like,
no, absolutely not.
Because you know what I heard?
Dumb.
You know what I also heard is that, it's like, it's not purple. It's just what you get when you combine blue and red. And I'm like, yeah, but the color was never the result of meshing two, because you still had red. You just never saw blue. So I'm like, to me, that's just you trying to make it work. That was a stretch. But I was wondering if you heard that.
No, I hadn't heard that one, but I'm not surprised that it's out there.
I think it was like a Lion fan saying more or less of like, oh, look, everyone wants you to think that it's red and purple, right? But I'm like, but you never saw the blue. And I was like, okay, you're stretching. I don't hate it, but you're stretching.
Yeah, seems like you might have visited Flint and drank some tap water.
I think they hung out with Matt Riddle.
Well, that's a possibility too. You gotta be careful. Be careful in both situations. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Yeah, when they were asked to be somewhere at 4:19, they preferred to be a minute late. That's all I'm gonna
Who
say.
doesn't?
People with wet noses, apparently. But that's not
good
here
Lord.
nor there. But speaking of which, it's time. Like you were saying earlier, Bulkster, I got to bring that bubble wrap. In fact, I got to bring that bubble wrap up on the podcast because it's time to wrap up. Joshua Joseph, where can people find you? What do you have going on? As we got you a ticker now.
Look at my ticker. You can find me on all of those little spots down there. I have some actual news. I am no longer a part of the In Your House group. They are a fantastic organization and they give some great insight. Everybody out there, I do call brothers. I adore. They do great work. Go support them. Go. If through me you found them and you enjoy the product that they put out, absolutely absorb it. But for me, I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, you are definitely going to be able to catch me here with my friend Chris Perish, my Canadian brethren. I thoroughly enjoy doing these because we get to talk and we get to have fun, and it's not always just one subject. It's a multitude of subjects, and I thoroughly enjoy that. So you can always catch me on my Facebook, Joshua Joseph. You can catch me on X, The Voice, Joshua Joseph, and Twitch. Who knows what I'm going to be diving into from here on out. But again, catch me here doing work with Chris Perish. It's been a blessing to actually become friends with everybody that I've become friends with through Turnbuckle Studios, through Chris Perish. So that's my story for right now. Again, I don't know if my watch-alongs are going to continue. I don't know if things like that will continue, but there's a chance they might. But definitely catch me here.
Just so you know, we don't get paid, so I cannot I can't slide you any money for the nice words you said.
Oh, no worries. No money needed.
Appreciate it. No, and yeah, and we've all had the winds of changes in our life, but the one thing is you got to smell the roses, because when you walk outside and you feel that difference, doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to what you do next. I'm looking forward to how the voice speaks moving forward. So it's going to be very intriguing. I love you, man. Thank you for always being here. Yeah, and people, if you're not aware of my socials, well, I don't blame you, because, well, we talked for 2 hours, and if you somehow wanted to get something out of this educationally, you're in the wrong spot. So if you want to get stuff that you can't take with you educationally, well, then go check out me on the X at Chris Perish, my Instagram, at Chris.Perish, my Twitch, that I think you're on right now, at the Chris Perish. If not, you're on my Facebook at facebook.com / Chris Perish, or at my YouTube at Chris Perish. I got a TikTok. It's funny. It's stupid. It's basically just telling you what I'm doing. So no more, no less. And then I have a little comedic pun or spin on some of the stuff I do, or I just have fun with it. So it is what it is. If you also want to use my promo code at Joshua Joseph, or at Joshua Joseph, if you and others want to use my promo code, you can go to rogueenergy.com. You can put Perish. Yes, it's my last name. How to spell that is Perish. The reason why I asked is because at the checkout, you save 10% on all orders you make. You can't stack codes. But what you can do is you can save some money so you have some for the next time. That helps out the channel. Helping out the channels, if you're on the Facebook, is the like, the follow, the subscribe, right? If you're on the YouTube, hitting that thumbs up, hitting that notification bell, alerting me that I'm alerting you when I'm on. But in case you missed the episode, go to Spotify.com and go and look, search the Chris Perish Podcast. We are live on Spotify. You can go back and watch the previous 7 episodes right now, and the 8th one will be launched later today. For everyone in the chat, I say thank you. I say I appreciate you. But right now, I'm saying I'm going to go get ready for some football. It's all about the Lions and 49ers, Ravens and Chiefs for me today. Hopefully holding my boy. So people, love you. Take care. And go Saints.